Hey guys, hope you're having a wonderful day. Today I've prepared a super informative video for you guys. We're going to be going over how you can get rich today, as well as how you can get wealthy forever. So without further ado, let's jump right into this. Firstly, we're taking a look at the most traditional method most people use for getting rich today, which is you have your product or service. And this all starts off with your prospect over here. And you've got to prove to this person that you can actually help them. You can help them solve whatever problems are in their way or get them closer to whatever their desired goal is. And in doing that, you leverage your Grant Cardone-like sales skills, and you convince them that, that they need this solution, that they need this product. In doing so, both of those mechanisms will only actually get your prospects at about this level right here, in which you're met with objections. As we see all the time, people are asking, how can I get through objections? How can I pass objections? That's actually dependent on the strategy that you're using. One thing I'd like to touch on though is when you come off as too pushy or salesy, you actually start to lose your credibility and trust with this potential prospect. Another note here is when you reach objections, oftentimes it's actually because your prospect is not quite ready to buy yet we're trying to convince them that they should be. This causes us to look pushy, and once again, it may actually lead to losing out on the sale. One thing I'd like to ask you guys really quickly is what kind of quality product actually requires convincing? So for example, when the latest iPhone drops, people go buy it at the drop of a hat. Apple doesn't really need to convince you that you need it. They just simply show you what's going on, what the new product is all about, and people convince themselves that they want it and they go out and buy it. When you actually try to convince people that they need something, it makes your product appear undesirable. So even if you use your sales skills and let's say you're amazing, you manage to get past the objections, you still have this huge gap here before you manage to get your prospect over here and you close the sale. So going back over here, one thing that's really important is you guys may actually lose your prospect permanently when they realize that you have nothing else to offer them besides trying to sell them. When they realize you have nothing else to offer them and they have nothing else to benefit from this relationship, oftentimes you lose the prospect entirely. So how can we actually avoid this objection? How can we actually skip this whole section here and actually arrive to closing the sale without having to rinse and repeat with using our sales skills and using convincing, right? As we see here, these two things, they're not going to get us all the way down here. That brings us over to our plan of getting wealthy forever. And we're going to be breaking down all of these components right now, guys. So once again, we're going to start out with our prospect over here. And instead of convincing them or using Grant Cardone-like sales skills, we're just going to start pumping the prospect with free value. What are the benefits of providing free value? Well, there's a lot of them. Firstly, you actually get to educate your prospect about your solution. One thing is your prospect can't care if they don't know, right? So one is educating them about the problems and constraints that people in their industry are facing. And secondly, how you actually help them surpass those things and get to their goal. Secondly, when you're providing free value, you actually give them the opportunity to win, which is a proof factor that what you're offering works. So if you actually provide free value and they see any form of benefit with what you tell or show them for free, they can only imagine how amazing your paid services are and how it's going to help them tremendously when they actually partner up with you. The next component would be they get the opportunity to familiarize themselves with you and build some trust. This is going to lead to closing sales with much higher ease, as well as retaining higher client retentions. You're not going to have people, just leaving you after 1 month or 2 months, which is oftentimes what happens when you even get over here and you manage to close the sale. If you don't actually have a quality product or they're not actually really familiar with you and you haven't built that trust, you're going to have trouble holding those client retentions up. So coming back over here, lastly, you actually get to appear as a figure of authority and a field expert. So you actually get the opportunity with free value to show them that you know what you're talking about and that you can actually help them. So by providing free value, you actually end up nurturing the prospect, and you get to move them from over here all the way down over here to closing the sale. Providing value and nurturing the prospect ensures if someone is not a buyer today, they will be later down the road. You're giving them the opportunity to grow into becoming a buyer if they're not quite ready for it yet. Another important factor here is this changes the dynamic with your prospects, and they actually realize that they have a problem and you hold the solution to that problem. Meaning, if they realize they have this problem, they can't quite fix it themselves. They know who to seek out if they want this solved for them. This also changes the dynamic from them feeling like they're being sold to them feeling like they're buying something, right? So just to make this a little bit more simpler for you guys, when you actually are trying to sell someone on something, they're going to feel like they're doing what you want them to do, right? They're going to feel like they're being controlled. They're not actually having, the freedom and limitations to do as they please. However, when you're just providing them with free value, you're constantly educating them, showing them how they can win, they're actually going to feel like they're buying something desirable and they're doing something that they want to do instead of actually doing something that you want them to do. This is going to lead to a much higher success rate in closing clients. And actually, it's going to allow you to consistently sign clients without having to use convincing or insane sales strategies. It's going to lead to really, really smooth, easy closes on a consistent basis. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this training. If you have any questions in regards to this strategy of using nurturing and free value to actually get your clients from completely cold on this side to over here and closing the sale, feel free to contact me or visit pumpacquisition.com for more information. Thank you kindly. Have a great day, guys.